Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a delicious couple in love that loves reacting to some Destiny.
Yes, we do.
So this is our Destiny 2 journey. This is Destiny 2 Season of the Splicer. So yeah, this is going to be 3 parts. It's a longer video. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you're going to see it all at once. Watching with us on Patreon, then you're going to see 3 parts, and we're going to upload it weekly.
Yeah.
And because it is Destiny,
we have our drink.
Yeah.
So this is the Awoken Amethyst.
Our official Destiny drink. Cheers.
Cheers. It has a purple sugar rim, which is amazing.
It's true.
Which is why I take 2 sips.
So if you want all of our Destiny reactions, check out the description of this video for a playlist. And if you want early ad-free access, get a month ahead on our reactions, check out the description for a link to Patreon, or you can hit the join button on YouTube.
So many options for you.
Yeah.
This morning, for the first time in humanity's long and storied history, the sun did not rise.
Whoa.
Osiris tells me it's a Vex simulation that has plunged the city into an endless night. It seems they have found a way to harness our energy against us. And even in all his wisdom, Osiris can offer no solution.
Oh shit.
I don't know what will happen if we can't break the Vex's hold over the city. I do know that we must protect our people, no matter the cost. The Vex are machines, and no one understands machines better than the Elixir. Osiris and I could only think of one we might turn to. Mithrax, Kell of House Light. My spies report he claims to be among the last sacred splicers, those with the power to commune with machines. He may be our best and only hope. Find him, Guardian, before the Vex do.
Mualakora.
It's been a long time, Guardian.
Yeah.
My hidden report that Mithrax was last seen on Europa, helping Varix evacuate Elixni defectors. Both the Vex and Aramis's loyalists are down there hunting for survivors, shooting anything that moves. Be sure to shoot back. We need Mithrax alive if he's to help us with our Vex problem.
Reminds me of the background of Mistral's song.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, it's moving, and I'm like, now it is.
It could be Elixni bound for House Light.
Yay, it's back to the old way.
Of Aramis's loyalists. Clear the Vex and introduce yourself to the survivors. Make it known you're not a threat.
It is now.
Unless you need to be.
Unless you need to be like that.
Empty. The Elixni cleared out before the Vex showed up. See if you can learn where they're headed.
Over their positions. Trigger, message repeat. This is Mithrax. To those who renounce the violence of House Salvation and seek refuge in the House of Light.
Did you say house sandwich?
I will be landing a skiff near Asterian Abyss.
Yes.
Bring only what you need.
One of the houses they didn't talk
We
about in
must
Game of Thrones.
prioritize survivors over their positions. Trigger, message repeat.
They're saying it is a subway sandwich.
Asterian
Lord
Abyss.
Salad probably hates it.
That's
It's
their
a sandwich.
rendezvous point. A single skiff recently touched down near your position. It's got to be Mithrax. Hurry, Guardian, before he takes off. Mithrax
Yay!
is
Sparrow!
some dangerous business.
I still want to call it a squirrel.
Ask for a favor, but he and his House of Light still worship the Traveler. That heat signature. Flames. Someone brought down the skiff. Quick now. Secure the crash site and assist the survivors. If there are any. The Vex took down the ship and ambushed the Elixni defectors. There are bodies in the snow. Nothing can be done for them now. Mithrax must have let a few survivors out, but they're completely exposed. Eyes up. Move. You're close.
Clear eyes.
And I'm
Full
picking
hearts.
up unusual
Can't lose.
energy spikes ahead. Be ready for anything.
Sit back. Ha!
The Guardian is almost here. Stay down. Stay quiet.
Oh, nice.
How do you know we can trust them? I don't.
Yeah.
what the light provides.
Okay. Shows me how racist I was. I saw them all chasing. I was like, oh, they're the bad people.
Guardian, I find you in the light, and on your signal, I call a ray.
Mithrax Cal, it is an honor. We've been searching for you for some time.
This is known. You are not the only one with hidden eyes. Many enemies pursue my house of light. We did not wish to be found.
Then times are desperate for us both. The Vanguard seeks your assistance.
I am aware. Vex systems pulse with talk of the city's endless night. But my people demand much protection. If this Guardian could assist me in blinding the Vex here, we can speak without risking more bloodshed.
Blinding the Vex. My Guardian will do whatever you need.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have opened the door for you, Guardian.
Okay.
fell into the Matrix.
Yep. Just jumped right into it.
Into a Vex simulation?
The path before them is no illusion. The Guardian ventures through the Vex domain itself, where the machines guard their most precious secrets.
Okay, so Tron.
I will clear the way.
This is different.
You move freely through space. None but our most skilled splicers can even perceive. The light shines strong within you. Hold fast, Guardian. I will alter the fabric of this Vex system to aid you.
You ate them because you blocked my shot.
I have never been. Find the Vex Curator, destroy it, and claim the living code woven through its core. You must flee. Now, do not fall in that lightless place. Another power works against me, pushing back. This is troubling.
It's a long way to try and go.
System is collapsing. Hold strong. I will create another exit.
Open. Toss it. Grappling hook.
Vex signals are dissipating from your region. They're leaving.
Yes. With the core you hold, the secrets of the Vex reveal themselves to us. To study such an artifact would benefit us both. But there is no time. My people must move on if we hope to survive.
Mithrax, I saw those who wished to join you dead in the snow. Let them be the last to fall. Come, shelter in our city. You and your people.
Ikora Kel, can you offer the Elixir such a thing?
I just did.
Yeah.
You'll be under the Vanguard's protection. The Vex are the enemy here. And any Lightbearer who disagrees can take it up with me.
Then we accept. With light in our hearts, we will join you in your city, beneath the Traveler.
Yeah, good job, Ikora. Can you do this? I just did.
Shelter beneath the great machine. This is beyond simple generosity.
Bless you.
I must thank Ikora for her gift.
This sanctuary is not granted by Ikora alone, but by all who live in the last city.
Yes, and on their behalf, let me extend a welcome. I'm Osiris, and this is Lakshmi too, future War Corps leader and city representative.
My greatest appreciations to you both. The House of Light thanks you.
Your house can best show gratitude by keeping to itself. I know your assistance with the Vex will benefit us all. But not everyone in the city is so open-minded. You appear to be settling in. I will leave you to it.
It's gonna be actors from like
If you
what,
require
24
further
and
help
Assassin's
from us,
Creed.
Yep.
You must only ask.
I shall.
She has such a very specific quality to her voice.
Modifications we will need for stable ether production.
Submit a proposal to Ikora. She seems willing to get you anything you need. I must return to the people in the city. Future War Court has foreseen great misery for them in the days ahead, and they will need an advocate. I often forget how highly those in the tower have placed themselves. The air is thin there. Best not to breathe too much of it.
You must understand this situation is tense for us all. This encampment perches on the edge of decree and democracy. I hope your stay with us will be uneventful.
He sounds like the guy from The Mummy.
Do I?
Alexni houses are more than tribes for sharing work and resources. They also represent living philosophies. In many ways, the House of Light is traditional. We worship the Great Machine and we embrace ancestral roles like splicers and scribes. But in other ways, we're different. My father, Mizrax, is Kel of our house, but he does not act as past Kels. He does not take more than his share of ether, and he does not punish by docking limbs. These are radical, but popular ideas in our house. However, Mizrax Kel also believes in peace and cooperation with humanity. This is less popular. Everyone in our house has seen Alexni killed by guardians. Not just warriors, but innocents and hatchlings. I lived for many years among the Awoken, and understand that humans do good things as well, sometimes. But the others in the House of Light have not been so lucky in their allies as I have. It will take time to earn their trust.
Understandable.
Here lies the remnants of Kel's Scourge, a dark period in Alexni history. After the whirlwind, many Alexni were overcome by feelings of hopelessness. They were homeless, hungry, and hunted by guardians and hive alike. So when Civics founded Kel's Scourge, promising to return Alexni to power with ancient weaponry, many were drawn to his call. Though the Scourge claimed to fight for Alexni empowerment, in reality, they represented the final degradation of our culture. A once great interstellar civilization was reduced to an anarchist mob, led by a power-hungry coward. Let ours be a cautionary tale. No matter how enlightened a culture, there are always those who prey on our worst impulses for their own gain.
Yep.
Many Alexni spend their whole lives on ships. They become more than a home. They're like a member of the family.
Doesn't look like there's just a big red button there that you just
Mizrax
press.
found me in the vent of a wrecked ship, you know. We joke that my father is a splicer and my mother is a catch.
Good joke.
After the fall of our homeworld, Reese, Alexni scattered across the stars. Having lost our grounding, catches evolved from modes of transportation into permanent homes. Even after Alexni began to resettle in places like the reef, we never lost our reverence for the machines that kept us alive. Now, after so much wandering, it's hard to believe that there's real ground beneath us and a real sky above. During our golden age, the Elixni civilization spanned many star systems, farther than humanity could imagine.
Is she a Lixney history teacher?
And in all of our exploration, we never found anything more wondrous than the Great Machine. It's one of the few things that all Elixni houses can agree on. That's why shrines like these are made of many small pieces. Each bit was added by a different house. It's a tradition that lasted generations. Most of those houses are now extinct, and their members are scattered. It's funny. I revered the Great Machine all my life, without ever having seen it. And now that it's right overhead, I still look to this shrine for comfort. Some Elixni tell hatchlings that these wards keep guardians from attacking us in our sleep. We know this is not true, of course, but it helps hatchlings to rest peacefully. Soon enough, they must learn that the guardians cannot be stopped by such things. That they cannot be stopped at all, even by death. After that, the war
You're seeing an eye,
changes
right?
meanings.
Eyelashes on
For
top.
grown Elixni, it's a reminder that the Great Machine blesses life givers and killers alike. But now that we have seen the Guardians among their own people, taking orders and making awkward small talk, I don't think this tradition will continue in the House of Light. We no longer see Guardians as monsters,
Good.
just people, frightened and misguided. Hello, my name is Ido. My father is Mizrax, Kel of our house. I took my name from his first awoken friend, Sir Ido. As scribe for the House of Light, it's my job to preserve our house's history.
She is a history teacher.
So that hatchlings may one day learn our stories.
Scribe, okay. We should start with this one.
Mizrax Kel requested that I leave some records for the humans of the last city, so they might learn about Elixni culture in their own time. As he says, inside a catch, everyone breathes the same air. Though I have doubts that the humans will care to hear our stories, the snipers who look down on us do not seem like the curious types. But the Great Machine has chosen them, so I must give them the benefit of my faith. Hopefully this effort does not go wasted.
Well, be rewarded.
Humans think of ether as food for Elixni, a form of sustenance. That's only partially true. Ether also catalyzes physical maturation and promotes molting. In that sense, it's like hormones in human adolescence. In a world of unlimited ether, like Rees before the whirlwind, all Elixni look like captains. That's our final form. Most Elixni you see now are underdeveloped. They're forever stunted by ether rationing, which began as a necessity and gradually evolved into a mechanism of social control. Now, ruthless leaders like Spider use the distribution of ether to keep their followers dependent. If Elixni are ever to live in peace, we must make ether available to all, regardless of rank. This Shank has been with us for many years. She's temperamental, but loyal. She's in need of constant repair, but we're used to it. Our house has fixed every part of her, from sensors to exhaust. So when I look at her, I don't see an object. I see the members of my house. I see myself. To us, machines are vessels, not just tools. This is why scrapworking is so important to Elixni culture. It's a way of sharing our spirit with the world, even when we have nothing.
And you got like lightsabers for
I'm sure that Guardians
lights.
feel the same way about their tower. It's more than a
Yeah, I
hollow
do.
form, more than the rubble it was built from. The tower is the keeper of the Vanguard spirit, and you would defend it more fiercely than any other building. Is it not so? I discovered this shell among spider supplies. Many Elixni fear guardians, but delight at your ghosts. We think of them as extensions of the great machine's will, deserving of reverence. When we arrived here, we were surprised to discover that many guardians treat their ghosts like equals, or worse, like servants.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be more
Guardians throw
servants,
their
but
lives away for sport in games like Crucible or Gambit, taking the miracle of resurrection for granted. As if ghosts needed the humans and not the other way around.
got a point.
Elixni have had their blessings from the Great Machine, it's true, but we've never known the power that ghosts grant humanity. I think that if Elixni became guardians, we would use the light to serve the Great Machine, not our own amusement.
Can't say I'm enjoying lying low, Commander.
Grow.
Reminds me of the old days. But, hey, I'm nothing if not good at following orders. If it was my choice, I'd be there helping you get the Elixni settled in the city. Might be hard to believe, but they're more like us than you think. Just give them a chance. Like you did for me.
I think that was coming.
Belask. That's how they say hello. Just so you know.
Last?
Guardian, I greet you in the light. It is I,
Thank you to the Splicer Servitor.
Mithrax, as your people say. I speak to you through a servitor we liberated from the House of Salvation. It fuels our camp now, turning raw matter into the ether we need to survive. I will use it to study the Paradrome cube you recovered from the Vex. In this way, it will provide for us both. We are settling into your city. You may have seen the work of the House of Light scribe Ido, my daughter. She has been creating a chronicle of our journey.
She's been doing a good job.
There will be time for that later. This city holds great scholars and warriors. Ikora, Osiris, Lakshmi too, even the Saint. They
Missed the Saint.
agreed to aid in your fight against the machines. And
Let's see
I
14
will
back.
be your guide. I am a sacred splicer. One who can touch the light rippling through the Vex networks. For the light is all. The wind through the grass, and the motion of galaxies. In this way, I can see into the Vex domain. But your abilities might grow beyond mine. I have prepared something for you. A Splicer gauntlet. The first made for a non-Elixni. The ether it pulls from defeated foes will let you override the Vex signals. Push back and enter the machine domain as you did on Europa. Bring me data from within, and together we will discover its secrets. Fight bravely. Free your people from this endless night.
Following a fallen into battle.
Yay, say 14, there he is.
Rich. Watch your back, Guardian. Mithrax has located a back door to the Vex domain. Get your foot in that door and secure the data. Vex are inbound on your position. Hold your ground and guard the connection.
The Vex network is revealed in layers. Provide the passcode to gain deeper access. The machines spawn collect their forces. Gather your light and prepare for have been reset, but like circuits, they can be overloaded. Continue the assault.
Judging by the Vex response, your fancy Splicer glove is working. Keep at it.
Do not let the machine spawn divert your attention. Keep it fixed on the terminal.
I can practically hear the Vex gears grinding. They cannot stop it, but they will still try.
The network bends to your will. It cannot resist for much longer. I can feel the Vex mind stirring. It is aware of your presence. Prepare for its violence.
Prepare for its violence.
Vortex is almost ready.
Not prepared for its arrival, just straight to the,
Yeah.
the
But
violence.
the Vex want to stop you, so it must be good.
The splice is complete. Enter quickly.
Going back to the next world.
Reach now, Guardian. Stay alert to any trick or traps. This may yet be avoided by the Fallen.
The Guardian must make more incursions on the Vex network. I can guide, but cannot follow.
Sending others into danger from a position of safety. This is Fallen leadership.
Alexei do not have lives to spare. We use wits to survive.
It has been some time since you and I have worked together.
Yeah.
That's going to
Where you
change.
been?
As internal affairs falls under my purview, you'll be reporting to me for this operation. Mithrax has kept his promise. His splicers work tirelessly to decode the data you pulled from the Vex network. Zavala and I have every confidence that this was the right decision. Years of hidden operations coming to fruition in our time of need. The Elixni would say, the great machine provides. But if Osiris hadn't suggested we contact Mithrax
The version of God is good.
all our outreach could have been wasted. Guardian, we are all made to believe that loss is how we grow. It took me decades to see that it is not the pain we learn from, but the risk, the chances we take, and the strength to see them through. Here in the city, every new life can begin in peace, without fear, without loss. We need only set aside the past. While you're in the field, I've asked Saint 14 to oversee the Elixni settlement. If we can turn the Kellbreaker into an advocate for House Light, then others will follow. I hope he's feeling generous. Where the darkness seeks to divide us, we need only offer out a hand.
When I requisitioned this transmitter, I was told the helm would be a secured location. I suppose this will have to do. Greetings, Guardian. I'm Lakshmi II of the Future War Cult, and I'm here to offer my assistance.
We'll take it.
Because you need it quite badly. The Future War Cult has long used Vex-derived technology to see into the future. I won't bore you with an explanation of mind forking. Suffice to say, we understand its dangers and use the device responsibly.
You said mind forking?
I have glimpsed
That's what I heard.
our future, Guardian. What I saw was chilling. Skies dark with smoke, shouting, gunfire, and in the center of it all, standing in our city, a group of fallen, the same fallen I saw earlier. Ikora listened to my report, but she chose not to hear it. The Vanguard would rather protect its image than its people. And so, I will handle things myself.
Hey, we trust Ikora.
We can change this future. Stop it from happening. While I monitor your progress against the Vex and assist where I am able, I will observe these fallen. if they begin to act against us? Well, when I foresaw the Red War, they laughed until Gaul bound the traveler. This time, I will not whisper my warnings. I will not be polite. I look forward to working with you,
Very
Guardian.
fair. I mean, if the Red War could have been avoided, that would have been huge.
We can protect our city from all who would wish it harm.
Did she have a keg back there?
I have felt your conflicts with the Vex from here, and your victories. This area is a crossroads. Many threads connect this city to the Vex. They seek to use their simulation to drain the light from this place, bend it to their will, just as you seek to disrupt their network. But while you fight for survival, their motives are unclear. The network connection cannot be broken without destroying your city. Both are bound now, and one must fall for the other to survive. But there is hope. Every Vex you destroy sends ripples across this false dark sky. I do not know how many must fall to end the simulation they have created, but the data they guard hides the answer. We will study it together. This is my word in the light.
The last city has always been a place of refuge. For centuries, the vulnerable have found shelter and security under the watchful eye of the traveler. Now, it seems that includes fallen. Once they sieged our walls, and now Vicor Ray throws open the gates. A charitable act from a compassionate leader. But is it the right thing to do? Can we really spare the energy and resources to shelter our enemies while we're under Vex attack? Can we afford to extend a peaceful hand to those who might bite it? As leader of the future war cult, I have foreseen violence and strife within our walls. This is not the first time. I warned you all of Gaul before the Red Legion took our city during the Red War. I am warning you again now. Are these newcomers the cause of our visions? That we do not yet know. What we do know
You don't know,
is that
so.
the Vanguard owes the people an honest and transparent explanation.
Before I opened
She's
my
got some trust
doors
issues.
to Guardians,
Yeah.
I watched you thrash through your collective existence. Loss never so much as hindered your destructive stride. The Red War, a Vanguard's death, mere hiccups. Back then, I judged you as callous. I assumed it was easy for you to rebuild, because your condition makes you incapable of caring about anything ephemeral. Now, I find myself in a dark hour, and I must admit I am
Give yourself to hold your hand.
envious of your tenacity. The Black Armory was founded to stand against the coming shadow. But when the darkness returned and our defenses faltered, my work made no difference. Humanity's focus shifted to the stars, and now the forges are gone. If I hope to maintain the Armory's legacy, it's clear I must build something new. The fallen refugees who fled Europa tell of some unfinished Braytech research on matter programming. I believe it could be a new start for the Armory. I've used the Vanguard
Santa Braga in
network
this mission.
to download as much as I can. But some branches can't be accessed remotely. And Europa remains a dangerous front for the Lightless. I need you to enter the Braytech facilities and download the data manually. Look for a terminal with elevated access protocols. There might be one in the nearby offices. I'm receiving data now. Oh, this is incredible work and well annotated. So that's how they solved for diatomic partitioning, and the macrofusion blending is just... Apologies.
That's it.
It's just exciting to see the final pieces in front of me.
I'm so close
There's a
to coming out.
component
I jinxed you,
here,
sorry.
some
It's
sort
okay.
of processing unit to calculate the threading algorithms. Looks proprietary. See if your ghost can scan for it based on these parameters. I doubt we'll be able to recreate another one, and none of this will work without it.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Ghost in a while.
That's it. Meet me back
I
in
miss
the
Ghost.
armory hall, and we'll see what this puzzle looks like when finished.
No Ghost for us. We'll get, maybe next part. In part 2, we'll get some Ghost. Quite the opening. Sun doesn't rise, so that would be incredibly scary.
Can you imagine what would happen on this planet and what people would do if one day the sun just didn't rise? I mean, like, I couldn't help but think that in my mind as they talk about it, like, whoa, how are they taking this? And oh my God, what would happen on Earth if that occurred?
Yeah.
I mean, when you start thinking down that like rabbit hole, that's a terrifying thought to entertain.
For sure. So felt like this one was just one big setup for what's to come. And like, being the first act or whatever, I can, that makes sense. I'm glad Ikora's back. I mean, not that she like left, but I'm glad like she's back, I guess, for us in the games. Cause like she said, like it's been a while since we've seen her. So, I missed Ikora, and like even right away she had some good lines, and yeah, just like, and also inviting in the Lixney, and when she's like, oh, do you have the authority for that? It's like, I just did it.
Yep. I missed Ikora. I'm a big fan of hers.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to hear in this, the distrust of Ikora and even the Vanguard, and like
yep.
to see how members of our team or if not like our immediate team, our allies and stuff, sort of the cracks in the bond there. Again, I don't know what that means for right now. I'm sure that's leading up to something that we're probably going to see in the next installation of this. But it's just one of those things that my ear picked up on, like, oh, ooh, how's that going to come into play? Like, I'm a big fan of Ikora. I think Ikora is great. I would trust Ikora. But you don't, and you think the Vanguard's concerned about their image. So something's gone wrong there.
Which doesn't trust Ikora, because I guess Ikora didn't trust her for as far as like the visions for what was going to happen with the Red War. So like, like you said, trust goes both ways. So it's like, okay, if you're not going to trust in what I say, then and I don't think that you're making always the right decision, because that. But again, it's like, yes, you're right. Then I don't know if that was like the first time she ever like shared her visions and it was not received, or if that was the first time she ever shared a vision at all, or like
first time she ever had a vision. Possibly?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, so just because you write that one time doesn't mean you're always going to be right. And just because they didn't listen that one time doesn't mean they're always not going to listen to you. Think that they listen more because of what happened. Also, like, a lot of when we go to our live streams, we live stream Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and sometimes on Sundays at like 12:30. But one of our rules is basically like, leave everything at the door as far as like, divisive topics and whatnot. Like we don't talk
the world.
Yeah.
We don't want to be adults in those moments.
Exactly.
We want to have fun.
And like we don't really get into like political discussions really here on the channel. Like I just couldn't help but think of when she didn't want like to let the Lixney in there. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, like we're letting the enemy in. Like she made me think of like refugees from like different countries and like being let in, and to other countries, like and just the fear of that.
Fear and anxiety. If you're always thinking about the worst that could happen, and I'm an overthinker. I overthink about the worst thing that could happen.
If you see our gameplay, we overthink everything.
Yes. So like I get that. I get that impulse.
Yeah.
The difference is whether you live by it or not. Like I can think of the worst case scenario in traveling, which is the plane crashes. That's a worst case scenario. But if I live my life by that fear, it means I never travel anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It means the trip that we just took to Hawaii, which was wonderful, never happens because I'm living my life from fear
Mm-hmm.
rather than anything else. And that cuts you out of so many things. Sure, something bad can happen. Guess what? You could live at home eating vegetables, sanitizing everything, and something could fall from the sky and still kill you. Like, something bad can always happen. It's not worth living your life that way. But
I agree.
It's interesting that you thought of like the modern connection, which I think is super valid. My mind went to the Trojan War. And I was thinking of her as Cassandra. She's Cassandra saying the war is coming, and nobody's listening to me. Yeah. And of course, like, you know, her fear of like, oh, like, you know, letting people in and whatnot. I'm thinking of
the Trojan horse.
The Trojan horse. And I'm like, okay.
She's got a point.
You know, I just like, I couldn't help but hear and see that parallel in what was being discussed. So that's just kind of funny that, you know, where your brain went versus where my brain went. I miss Ghost.
Yeah, I miss Ghost as well. I'm glad that we got back to the old way that Destin was doing these videos. Like I said, there were certain times like where it'd be fine. Like I was thinking when they were going over the history, like you could have like spliced some of those like cinematic moments, like when it's going over like the history when we got to the history teacher or whatever, Mithral's or Mithrax's daughter. I'm like, okay, like then like you could have like maybe like spliced that in there a little bit. Not the whole thing, but yeah. So I am like, you know, what is it? Like armchair quarterback, Monday morning quarterbacking, what's going on with Destin's videos. But yeah, so I'm just glad that they're back to that. I like to see a little bit more of the action that's going on here. And yeah, it seems like, I mean, we've been dealing with the Elixni a lot more recently. So I'm wondering where that's headed.
Yeah, me too.
Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you're watching with us on Patreon, we're going to continue this next week. And if you're watching with us on YouTube, then we're going to go right into the next part.
Yeah.
And Bucky's excited for it.
He's very excited.
Hello. Approach. I have no time for shyness. Incredible.
Direct.
I felt confident in my interpretation of their schematics, but to see it actually working is something else entirely. When I used to think about the armory, about my responsibility to it, the weight was almost unbearable. Even in this body, I felt like I could never get enough air. Now, for the first time in a long while, I feel relieved and eager. The synthweave produced by this prototype won't provide combat effectiveness, but I will continue to explore possible applications. Perhaps Ikora could use it for disguising her hidden. With more tensile strength, it could reduce maintenance time on Redjacks. I don't know what discoveries lie ahead,
but she's excited.
I'm eager to find them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guardian. I can't express what this means to me. Now,
you've awoken the nerd in her.
Give it a try?
Her passion. It's been rejuvenated.
Guardian, I greet you in the light.
What up, Mithrax?
We should learn from your example. We struggle to make a home under this endless night. Supplies spoil more quickly. The air leeches life from all we have. I have never seen corruption like this. It is unknown to me. When you are ready, I will guide you to where the Vex are most vulnerable. They are difficult to predict. They do not behave as they should. I think they guard powerful secrets. Tighten your gauntlet, and let us take them. The Splice.
Kick them in their backs nuts. So they're most vulnerable.
Here could be the key to victory over the Vex and the Fallen. Humanity is behind you.
I don't know if I have proud of the leader you become. It's just a shame you failed to heed more conventional wisdom.
Such as?
Cauterize all contact with the darkness, lest you risk infestation.
Just because you can't see the shears, Osiris, doesn't mean I'm not pruning dead branches.
Well said, Ikora.
Already surrendered.
Don't question it, Cora.
Now they want more. Meat, mob, medicine. People in the city need these things.
We ask for no more than you can give.
This endless night, it drains us. Our resources are spread too thin. What you give to them, you take from the mouths of our citizens.
All right. That's enough. Korra was firm. I am to provide for the Elixni as if they were our own people.
Our own people. Lakshmi was right. You are too political an animal, Osiris.
The House of Light. We wish to destroy the Vex. To aid the Guardian.
Yeah.
Same as you.
Same side.
Do not start with this. Tell me, Mithras, were I in one of your cities, would you bow to all of my demands?
We would give you anything you asked for.
Because you are so generous?
Because we would wish to live.
I see. You are fighting for your people as I would fight for mine.
Exactly.
It is true. Split the supplies as Ikora says. Anything to make this false night pass more quickly.
He came around. There was an understanding.
Interesting.
Alright, so we're just leaving us.
Earlier, I could not speak openly to Osiris, to the Saint. I wanted to shout. Have you been beneath the great machine so long that you cannot survive without its bounty? But fear stopped my words. Yes, my Elixni are here, warm, safe, inside high walls. But this endless night, it is like a weapon. It attacks the heart. An invisible foe sieges your people, so they look desperately for an enemy. And after so long with nothing, my people finally have something to lose. Please, Guardian, seize more data from the Vex and let us shatter this foul night. For the sake of all.
For the sake of all.
People
Okay.
of the last city.
So this is low stakes
Commander
then.
Zavala and I have been touched by the generosity and kindness you've shown toward our new Elixni neighbors. We also understand the reluctance some have shown toward their resettlement. To those who mistrust our arrangement, let me remind you that this very city was founded by refugees. We sought
Good point.
shelter not only from alien aggressors, but from other humans. The bandits and warlords that profited from our suffering. So it is with the Elixni. For the first time in our shared history, we need the Elixni, and they need us. Together with Mithrax and his sacred Splicers, we can end the endless night. But only if we stand united for the betterment of all.
I greet you in the light, Guardian. I was given a message about Lakshmi too. She of the future war cult. Osiris wishes that she gains full access to the Vex data you gather. I agreed. I hope my cooperation will show her we are not like the old houses. I have heard the transmissions she records for the city's people. And I know she is skeptical of the Elixni. I hope to make trust with her. There are rumors she uses Vex technology to look upon tomorrow. This is dangerous, forbidden by my people. But if it will show her we walk together in peace, I will give her all that she asks. After studying the data you brought, I have found a new path for you to walk. The Vex gather their forces, but we can break through their security, enter their realm, then use your light. Consecrate their network. Purify it. The Vex will try to stop you, but you are not one who can be stopped.
Hell no.
People of the last city, we are governed by a consensus. A democracy where the people have a say over what happens in their city. Or so we thought. But did you agree to shelter a mob of dangerous fallen? The same fallen that spent a century stealing from us, besieging our city, and destroying our families. Did you agree to suddenly forgive and forget? No. Icor Array decided, without the people's consent, to allow house light inside our walls. These are not the actions of a democratic leader. She claims that this Mithrax can end the Vex curse. Then why has he not done so? Perhaps because he has no such power. Or perhaps because he's simply biding his time.
Just because you don't put every single choice to a vote doesn't mean don't make like a democratic society.
And have seen only a strife and conflict with the fallen. Unless we change course immediately, bloodshed is inevitable.
Some might say you have a dark outlook.
Yes. Very much does.
Between reality and possibility, where matter meets will and bends in a prism of light.
Question is, will she come around? Or is she going to be
Where none but the
a fight
Vex
later down?
have ever been. But what you see here is made manifest by your mind, turning Vex consciousness to something tangible.
Is it making me think of like the old Hot Wheels
It's no
track?
mere simulation. Death in this domain is as real for the Vex as it is for you.
You see it?
What? No. Guardian, the Vex have sensed your presence in the network and are attempting a purge. You must hurry into the domain.
Whoa. It's a big leap.
Vex consciousness made manifest. This must be where the Vex designed their architecture before bringing it to reality.
Yeah, I feel like
Find a way through this labyrinth
maybe
to
they
the
just had like
oppressive mind within.
a budget cut or something like that on the design teams. That was like, we can't like, put in all the details or whatever, and we're just going to put the groundwork for everything. Just, weave it in there. Weave it in the story somehow.
Forward. In order to circumvent the remaining defenses, you must deceive the Vex domain consciousness into thinking you are one of them. You should be able to splice an essence of their consciousness from a destroyed Vex. The oppressive mind emerges. Sever it from this domain. The oppressive mind.
Yeah.
is shielded.
Chop my little with the ankles.
Try splicing a Vex consciousness into their network to break its defenses. The impossible made possible. You truly are a thing of legends, Guardian. The oppressive mind that commanded this domain is no more. And now this region of the Vex network must collapse.
This house
Fabric
is
of
key.
reality is beginning to return to its prior state.
At last, real progress.
This is how we save our people. By tearing apart the veil of night that the Vex have laid over the city.
Well done, Mithrax. Thank you.
An Elixir Splicer would not have been able to endure this confrontation. And a light bearer without a Splicer gauntlet would never have been able to enter this domain at all.
So you need each other.
Is a union being, a conduit between two houses. They are proof of what can be accomplished when separate components become a single machine. As Zavala Kel says, stronger together. Your powers grow to fight the Vex, but still their offense increases. We sacred splicers study the Vex. We learn to move through them like tall grass. But these, they are strange to me. Their focus is unpredictable. This frustrates me. I can see the data streams as you walk through their space, but I cannot see from where they flow. It is as though a fog pushes in from cold water. It could be the soft voice of my doubt here in this false night. But it could be something greater. Something no Splicer has encountered before. You must continue to enter their network. Destroy what you find inside. Each victory cuts one of the threads that hold this endless night in place. The Vex will send powerful foes against you, but be not swayed. Keep to the path. The path leads you to me once more, Guardian. This endless night presses down on us all. I hear the city groan with the strain. The dark brings sickness now.
Yeah, how long have they been in darkness for?
The people hear of your triumphs against the Vex, but they see only dark skies above. They are being bent, and some may break.
I feel like a lot will break.
I will aid if I can. I will not be proud, but let the citizens see that we are suffering with them. I have faith they will see us for who we are. The light always shines through in the end. But for now, the work must begin again. Go.
People of the last city. The Vanguard protects us from enemies outside our walls. But did you know they also protect us from information? Did you know that the Fallen unleashed the Vex on Europa? That they corrupt our guardians with the poison gift of stasis, tempting them to build the darkness? These same Fallen are now inside our city, at the invitation of the Vanguard. Ikora Rain knows all this, and more. Her hidden spies report as much, yet she continues to support these false alliances over her own people. Whether her lies are born of malice or incompetence matters not. What matters is that I have gazed into the future and foreseen bodies in our streets. Make no mistake, an invasion is coming. And if we are to triumph, we must first take back our city.
Do you think she really believes all this stuff, or is she just trying to gain power?
Do you feel that? The more you
That's a good
explore
question.
the Vex domain, the more I feel an all-seeing
My impression was she
eye upon
believed
us.
it, but
I almost too. But
Ever watchful, ever seeking. We trespass in dimensions not meant for either of us. The Vex have enacted a purge sweep of the domain. We should stay ahead of it. A layer of barriers defends this realm. A mighty fortress that resists brute force. Cunning is the key here, Guardian. That fragment of Vex data can be used to splice a bypass of their security, granting us access to the oppressive mind at this domain's core. I have helped as much as I can. You tread uncharted paths. Solving this enigma is up to you, and the skills you have been given. The barrier has destabilized. You will need to continue to chip away at the defenses to destroy it entirely. The oppressive mind rises to face us. Show it the power of a Splicer. With your light, you are unweaving a reality the Vex have forced upon us. The tapestry of their design continues to fray. But this is far from over.
Lakshmi is certain that our continued efforts, combined with future war cult's technology, can locate the source of the endless night.
I am aware of the device Lakshmi uses. Does it not worry you?
In what way?
Yes.
It is taxing on its user. To have one's consciousness fractured into countless splinters and rejoined again can be harrowing.
Lakshmi is up to the task.
This sort of technology is taboo among the Elixni. But perhaps House Light can still offer some assistance. My engineers could improve on the design, make it easier for Lakshmi.
No. The Black Armory has already provided necessary enhancements for us. Lakshmi will manage, I'm confident. Besides, the less interaction Lakshmi has with your people at the moment, the better.
That's fair.
Yes, perhaps. Perhaps you are right.
There's been a disturbance.
She's not exactly
Sabotage
open-minded
in
to the
Elixni camp.
Elixni.
This wasn't just an attack on their ether stores. Someone wanted to send a message. Our citizens forget who they were before they found the safety of the city's walls. It's easy to mistake change as the front line of a battlefield. But this is a time for level heads and compassion. Saint 14 is already en route to investigate. I trust him, but he is torn between duty and doubt. And Lakshmi? The Vanguard has tolerated her broadcasts, as Zavala doesn't believe it's our place to interfere in civilian politics. I see now that was a mistake. We can't allow anyone to jeopardize our alliance with the House of Light, no matter their motives. Our citizens must see that the Elixni are people, just like them. Get down there. Be the calm the city needs. Hear out grievances and keep tensions low while I root out the perpetrators. It's time that Lakshmi and I had a little talk.
Ooh. I hope they show that.
You see what was done. Our ether tanks smashed. Our supplies stolen. Our home defaced.
I cannot find any witnesses.
This is not surprising. The locals have been under enormous pressure. You're lucky it was not worse.
This destruction helps no one but the Vex. Please, instead of teaching your people to fear us, tell them the truth.
The truth is that your kind has preyed upon us for as long as we can remember. There's nothing I can say that will make them forget.
House Light has never raised arms against humanity.
Your houses and titles are layers of politics. You're still fallen.
You promised us your protection.
And you had it. We allowed your brood to squat and chitter here in our city. But still, the Vex simulation persists. If you're displeased with how you have been treated for your failure, then I suggest you camp elsewhere.
It's harsh.
Your people destroyed what little we possessed. Now we have nothing. Nowhere to go.
Humanity faced a challenge like that once. We banded together and built a city with walls to keep our enemies outside, where they belong.
We hear her broadcasts, but more than that, we feel the energy of her words in the air. Sharp as blades pointed at an enemy. At us.
Yep.
You cannot ask people to live alongside their monsters.
Listen to me now, Saint. Let me tell you something about monsters. Once, in a city grander even than yours, we prospered. But it did not last. Our great machine abandoned us. And when we pursued it, you sent something back. A creature fueled by hatred. It tore through our great houses like they were nothing. And then it came for the rest of us. Nowhere was safe from its insatiable rage. In its eyes, even the most innocent of Elixni were still fallen.
Rip that one in half.
It could die, but it would not stay dead. It would shake off the rot and rise again. And if it caught you in its crushing embrace, impaled you on its ragged crest, dragged you screaming into its foul shell, none live to speak of these horrors. It called itself the Saint. My people must now see the creature every day. It sees us. If we wish to survive, we must all learn to live alongside our monsters.
That was very cool illustration.
Yeah. Good story.
I believe this is the war strategy humans call poisoning the town well. Luckily, we have enough ether reserves to last until repairs are made. But this is a worrying sign. When Ikora Ray offered us refuge, we assumed she had the authority to do so. But the longer we stay here, the more we wonder if anyone is in charge of this city. Your leaders do not seem to have the loyalty of the people. This instability puts Mizraxkel in a difficult position. Many in our house were against coming here, but they trusted my father's judgment.
Does he trust Ikora?
Now, his messages of tolerance and forgiveness appear naive. Perhaps this was the attacker's goal.
Yep.
This sharing of hatred, as my father would say, is disappointing but not unexpected. Some Elixni believe that guardians prey on us without reason. But as a scribe, I know better. The accusations Lakshmi makes against us are mostly true. Elixni have raided the last city for centuries. They were driven not only by desperation, but by unspoken resentment at the great machine's abandonment. Every Kel since the whirlwind has tried to unify Elixni in opposition to humanity. This warlike mentality has been a weakness. The House of Light tries to unify Elixni with humanity, not against them. And this is how we are received. I'm surprised humans would destroy a representation of the Great Machine. My research with the Awoken suggested that humans revered it as we do. However, my personal observations have not supported that conclusion. I understand the city used to have an official speaker, a sort of cleric who spoke to the Great Machine's will. However, human records state that role was abandoned after Dominus Gaul sacked the city. To leave the Great Machine without a representative among the people seems heretical. Many Elixni believe that humanity takes the Great Machine's blessings for granted, just as we once did. Perhaps they're right.
Yeah, probably not too far off.
Guardian, I regret you had to witness my outburst earlier with the fallen leader. I am not a diplomat, and sometimes I can be terse. I know terrible things have been done in the name of the city. In the name of the future war cult. In my name. You understand, though. The city is a living thing. And it is rejecting the fallen. Like a fever, burning out an infection. I will speak to the fallen leader. Tell it that the future war cult will personally replenish their supplies when they are ready to move on. I do not wish them to think badly of us. I know they are your associates. What a city we would have if everyone's heart was as big as yours. Have you heard the song of the people echoing through the city? Rise up as one, march toward the sun. The words of people reaching for dawn in this endless night. People who have still not given up hope. Neither have I. And if you were wondering, this was not the conflict I have foreseen. No. That will come later. Unless I can stop it.
What are you going to try to do to stop it, though, is what worries me.
I have no words.
Go to extreme measures.
Lakshmi too. A saint. I do not know if I reached them. In truth, I do not know if I even reach you. The darkness of this night weighs on me more than any other. Know this. I will not stop fighting for those in this city. Even those who did this. The light passes through us all. We focus it through the prism of our will. Those who attacked us were blinded by fear, poisoned by venomous words. They were focused badly, meant badly. But they are not truly our enemies. We will not seek vengeance. We are not the monsters some believe us to
Might be
be.
the bigger man, Mithrax.
Walking the path of the light takes strength. That is what we will remember tonight, as fear and hunger gnaw at us, as our hatchlings sleep in ashes. I greet you in the light, my friend. There have been no more attacks from inside the walls. I spoke my heart words to all who would hear. We have no anger within us. We will not be led to violence, no matter how wide the path. We now must focus on the Vex. The machines do not stop to consider our situation, and neither should you. I can still improve your gauntlet, and your Splicer training must continue. Do not waste your energies on us. My Elixni have been through much, but cruel words and thoughtless deeds will not break us. Let us continue our work.
Override the moon.
Sure. There's just like a little switch, right? Like an on-off switch.
Most of the fallen are monsters. Guardians have even seen them eat humans. Is this not true, Saint 14?
It's true. I've seen the fallen do this and more. But many things were different back then.
I too have heard these stories, though Elixni scribes prefer silence. It makes pain in my spirit to think on it. But those Elixni were not of House Light. We cannot change what they did. We can only promise to be better. Each trespass into this domain is easier for you than the last. I feel you moving through the Vex network as they do, as they are. You are no longer an invader. You are a part of the system. I hope that as you change this place, it is not also changing you. Another bird sweeps through the network. Be cautious. The guts of this dimension churn, digesting all within. This entire place seeks your end. You will need to find a defense against the forces of eradication and entropy at work here. We have wounded the oppressive mind. Destroy it.
We succeed for a third time, and yet nothing has changed with the Endless Night. Why is that, Mithrax?
Each time the Guardian destroys a Vex mind in control of a domain, the remaining Vex carry the leftover burden.
And how many of these minds do you think are left to share that burden?
That is unclear.
Then we
great.
should focus our efforts on finding the central Vex mind guiding them. Osiris, how is that coming along?
Slowly. Lakshmi and Mithrax's splicers are diligently working with data the Guardian has recovered. But the Vex mind at the source of the Endless Night remains elusive.
We need to move quickly. The simulation is draining the city's energy. I won't stand by and watch our lightless civilians continue to suffer.
Ikora, I don't intend to let that happen.
We will work harder. We will find a way.
Work smarter.
The light provides.
I mean, Mithrax is pretty impressive with his ability to turn the other cheek and really practice what he preaches. And you couldn't blame him if he had gotten mad about that and wanted to retaliate for what happened. But he saw that would do no good and didn't want to, give in and make them, the people who did that, justified by saying look, see what they're doing? Now they're attacking us. One, I think he really does believe in the pacifist approach, and two, I think that was a good political move.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about Mithrax as well, and you took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say very impressive in this episode. He showed an incredible strength, and intelligence as a leader to see the moment and find the best possible solution for his people in the face of what anyone else would do, which I think, to your point, would be to retaliate. We always talk about how, violence begets violence. And that's true. And here's Mithrax doing exactly what you need to do to stop that cycle. And yet it is the hardest thing to do, especially when you are the last person to have been slighted. It's easy to be I'll get my licks in and then I'll stop being violent. Sure, whatever. But to be the person who was just wronged and say, you know what? It ends with me. I'm not going to rise to this. That just takes an incredible amount of strength and intelligence, emotional intelligence. I could not be more impressed with him right now.
I really liked the story about Saint. So this is Saint 14. So this is the 14th iteration of Saint. And what I was led to believe is that was, I guess, maybe probably the first Saint, or at least an earlier version of Saint. And Saint 14 just doesn't remember that because I think every time you get rebooted, you lose some memories or most memories from before. Him talking about okay, well, we might be a horror to you and the monsters to you, for your people, but it goes both ways, and we see this as well, yet we're able to put it aside. It's just trying to find that common ground and that empathy in there, and being okay, well, we do know how you feel, and this is why. So I think that was just a really great story, and like you said, it was really cool artwork at the end there.
I loved the artwork of it. I loved how it kind of took us out of this world and really did, it felt like getting a story time, and the artwork matched that, the whole tone of it. And that's what I loved about how Mithrax presented it. It would be really easy to say oh yeah, you guys feel that way? Well, so do we. Like, you guys did that to us. Like, it would be so easy to have that combative eye for an eye, one-upmanship. But he chose instead to pivot to a story. So we don't even know what the story is at first. He's like, let me just tell you a story. Which is such a brilliant way to begin it because it makes you listen versus saying like, well, yeah, you guys do that to us too, which makes you defensive.
It's true.
Like, I want to tell you a story is like, oh, okay. But saying, but you do that is accusatory. And so like he did it in a brilliant way that sets the scene, that talks about his people, and then reveals the villain. And it was brilliantly executed because it worked around the defenses of the other side to show them the real feeling and the real connection that they actually both have.
That's really smart, Beautiful, because I mean, it's a great way to be able to get someone to see your side of things. Like if you start off, if you're having a disagreement with someone, it's so like you go into your corners, right? And you just shut down anything the other person says. And like you're almost waiting for them. Like a lot of times in an argument too, you'll kind of know where they're going. You're waiting for them to like to say certain things. And like it doesn't matter what the person says. You like are just even people that like aren't even even if you don't consider yourself a stubborn person, I think it's really tough. But if you come at it with like a story, the person starts to listen to you actually. Whereas if you come up with an argument, the person's not listening to you at all. So it doesn't matter what you say in that moment. But coming at it with a story, the person's listening and then like bringing it around to having them see your side of things. That is just like, I don't know. That's a great way to have a discussion in a disagreement with somebody.
Especially because the focus is the story of your experience.
Yeah.
It's not the I'm the victim.
Yeah.
And it's not the the accusatory angle, but it's more just the let me tell you a story as I've experienced this, you know, and you talk about the experience in a way that is not central to one or the other being the victim or the villain, but more so just like, hey, this is how it's coming across through the lens of my reality, which I recognize could be a different lens than what you're experiencing, but this is where I'm at. And that's just, I mean, just Mithrax is a brilliant tactician. Agreed.
I like tactician better than politician, because politician just gives the sense of mistrust and whatnot. But do you know what I'm saying? Like when I said this looks like I don't know, almost thought this was done. I don't know when this season came out, but I almost thought it was like maybe during like COVID or something because
for sure
of the unfinished level or whatever. It's like kind of when you do the. My brother had these books. He was a good artist. I was a terrible artist. But I was like, you know, how to draw your favorite Marvel character. And like, you know, okay, you just start with like some cylinders or whatever, and then you do this, and then all of a sudden you color it all in and there you go.
Those never work.
Yeah, I can never get that, but that's what it seems like, you know, like this is like, okay, all right, this is the original like game design, you know, we got a bunch of rectangles and squares and everything around here, and then they color it in to make, you know, give us the environment itself, but they're just like, you know what? We're really tired. Let's just leave it like this, and we'll just say that like they're in a computer world.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, that's kind of brilliant, actually. But yeah, okay. I'm glad you got it.
I saw it. Oh yeah, for sure.
Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you're watching with us on Patreon, then we're going to continue this next week. And if you're watching with us on YouTube, then we're going to go right into the next part.
Yep.
I have thought much on Mithrax's story.
About Saint, yeah.
We do monstrous things to fight monsters. It seems simple then. When the city first formed, Titans were the walls. We did not think of our enemies when we fought. We thought only of protecting our people. Survival until the next day, no matter how. To be seen as a terror. Destroyer. To know children tremble in fear at my name and mourn what I have taken from them. This is not the Saint 14 I know. I can never forgive what the old houses did to us. But these are not the old houses.
Exactly.
They are dead. What do we gain from more death? This lashing out against defenseless people, it is the act of a coward. Mithrax risked much to trust us. If his House of Light can forgive,
And so can you.
perhaps we must try to see the fallen, Elixni, as they see themselves. Or none of us will ever be anything but monsters.
Well
We
said.
must be more than the enemies of our enemies.
Even better. Good job, Saint 14.
Agreed.
I see you have overcome the Vex again. We are both doing what we must. I have not spoken with the Saint.
You should.
I believe hearing my story softened him somehow. I saw one of our young run across his path. The Saint raised a hand in greeting, and the hatchling recoiled and fled. The Saint watched it run. The reaction seemed to wound him. I will reach out to this child. She acted out of fear and was unkind. She should know the image of the Saint we use to chase evil is only a story. If we are to survive this long night, we must be able to see one another as what we truly are. Elixir of the House Light. Hear Mithrax now. I know many of you feared this place. You have seen death at the hands of the Guardians. It was right to expect death in their house. But I said, and say again, that if we help them, they will help us. And here we are, alive. It is true that some have attacked our new home. It is true that some try to share their hate with us. It is always so. But if Elixni feel darkness inside, only look up to see the great machine and know that House of Light is blessed.
We're all blessed to have such friends in dark times. Humanity will not allow these hateful and ignorant acts to define us.
Exactly.
We will prove it by bringing those responsible to justice.
Walk
Yeah,
the
cool.
path of hardship with joy in your hearts. Be brave. Guardian, light guides your path. Though I believe darkness lies ahead for you, I expected your assaults to weaken the Vex. But I reach into the network now, and it pulls. Hungry, greedy, like slogging through mud. I felt this when you first walked through the network. You pushed into their system, and something malevolent pushed back. The sacred Splicer must know the Vex, must understand what can and cannot be bent, yes. They are like the seasons, or the great seas. They surge and flow like a primal force. They cannot be manipulated, and yet something is doing just that. I do not know what it is, or why it has targeted your city. But I see the great machine hanging above, and I worry. This endless night has greater purpose. Be cautious now, Guardian. Darkness is coming for you. Shine your light on the truth.
He's not afraid of the drama.
Proceed through the temporal reachway and infiltrate the Vex's subnetwork. Focus on the task at hand. Do not be distracted by your senses.
kind of claustrophobic.
Falling farther and farther down.
I would not want to do this virtual reality style.
No. Are you getting motion sickness?
Compiling analysis.
No, but like I definitely get the like stomach turn, like
Oh, like
falling
dropping,
and
yeah.
stuff.
To think the Vex are able to divide themselves between the material world and this place to engineer their plans. This is not unlike the Ascendant Plane. It raises many questions. Once more, the Vex fall into our trap. Destroy them all. Bring this domain crumbling down.
Can you feel that? The threads of night unraveling as if a veil is being lifted. The network is laid bare, its threads converging on... What is this?
Mithrax, what's wrong? What do you see?
An infestation. I have found the Vex at the source of the endless night. Quria, the dreaming mind. Its code has been corrupted by taken magic.
Savathun. We've been played.
Quria has been commanding the other Vex, poisoning their minds, directing them at Savathun's will. The endless night is of Savathun's design.
It would seem the Witch Queen has outmaneuvered us. But perhaps she did not count on us seeing her hand so soon.
Then we strike now! Mithrax and I will lead forth. We bring the fight to Quria and crush it!
Yes, 14.
We cannot rush into this. We must find a safe route through the Vex domain where Quiria's hiding. Any time we give is time for Savathun to scheme. No scheming, we shoot!
I know, Saint, but we have to be careful.
Bloodthirsty.
Mithrax, will you report your findings to the Guardian back at the helm?
If that is your wish.
We will fight, and soon. But it will be on our terms, not hers.
I wish my news was not so grave. But I can confirm that it is the taken Vex mind Quria at the center of the simulation that plagues this city. Quria serves the Witch Queen Savathun. It is she who is responsible for the endless night.
Are you certain of your data? After all, Savathun is known for her deceptions.
Osiris, I did not know you had access to this channel.
I wish to confer with you and the Guardian privately.
The Splicers feel Quiria's spirit. Hollow, calculating, taken. It lurks between realities as a blade between carapace plates. There is no mistake.
How did you miss this?
Blaming him?
In the same way it went unseen by the mighty Osiris.
Exactly.
If my experience and wisdom can aid you in Quiria's capture, you may have it.
Capture. Quria is discordant and must be exorcised if the great machine's sky is to shine again.
The things we could learn were we to capture it. Think, Mithrax.
Dangerous. Ambitious. Assume capture is successful. Captivity would prove difficult. Safer to eradicate.
I will confer with Ikora to find us the best course of action.
Of course. Mithrax observes the city's guidance. You and the Guardian speak with Ikora. Elixni will continue to refine a strategy.
Guardian, Be vigilant.
I don't think
We
Mithrax
must
liked that
consider our
Osiris had
discovery
crashed
of
his little like
Savathun
phone
to be
conference.
part of
Not at all.
Perhaps she means to sow fear and suspicion among us. I won't allow her to drive us apart. When the time comes, I'll put a spear of light through the Witch Queen's heart myself.
Yeah, Cora.
For now, I'm overturning all hidden records and full archival access to Osiris, but no one else. Lakshmi claims the Vanguard suffers from a lack of transparency. If she had access to our records, she'd cherry-pick whatever details were necessary to ground her prophecies. I need people I can trust to be objective. Some of our records on Savathun are fabricated truths, I'm sure. But in those lies are the strategies she used to topple the Dreaming City. History won't be repeating itself here. Continue your Splicer training with Mithrax. Use it to root Savathun's minions out. We'll reassess the situation when we've located our target.
Warrior lurks at the center of this false night. All threads leading to it are dark and thick, covered in black oil. Your Splicer mastery has been growing. The great machine is unknowable, but I believe it acts with purpose. Just as we must act with purpose now. To find a way to reach Queria and end it. Sacred Splicers must see the invisible machinery at work around us to understand its beauty and flaws, and our place within it. I think of my light as a torch, a beacon. Yours, though, I see as a weapon. I say this with respect. From what I know of the Great Machine, it would not create a weapon without needing to use it. Queria will be your target. Be ready, for there is no doubt it is.
People of the Last City, I come to you with an emergency announcement. One that Vanguard leadership wishes to keep from you. Future War Court has learned from Guardian sources that the Endless Night is the work of the Hive God of the Seat, Savathun. This is a grave development, but we cannot give in to despair. Instead, let it propel us to action. We must demand accountability from Vanguard leadership. We cannot allow Zavala and Ikora Ray to sell our city to the fallen. Why?
Enough!
She's gotten too radical.
This is Ikora Ray. I will not stand by while this hateful rhetoric goes
Exactly.
unchallenged. I understand it's hard to put the violence of the past behind us. But the Vanguard's responsibility is to preserve a just peace. Not for some, but for all. Lakshmi would have you live in fear. Fear of the elixir. Fear of the future. But I propose something much stronger. Faith. Faith that bravery is not just a human quality. Faith that we are stronger together. Faith that the Vanguard and our Elixir allies will break the Vex hold on our city.
Fortunately, fear's a bigger motivator.
United as one, for the good of all.
Guardian, I greet you in the light. Even if darkness hangs overhead. We were correct that an unseen hand was guiding the Vex. Queria, the dreaming mind, brought this endless night with it. It has been draining the energy from the city. We do not yet know why. Ikora and Osiris have thoughts, but the details do not change the truth. Queria must be stopped. But first, we must find it. I have reached into its domain, but the Vex forces break my sight. I believe I am close, but I must focus. You, Guardian, strike the Vex now, with great force, so that I may see Quria through your ripples. It may seek the destruction of your city, or of your vanguard, or something even greater may be at stake.
The destruction of the Vanguard seems pretty big.
Yeah.
This infinite realm beyond material space is but one of many. The universe holds so many dark and fascinating secrets. If only our eyes were open enough to see them. It appears the Vex would prefer you not to learn anything further at all. You'd better get moving. The oppressive mind has ensconced itself behind a series of data barriers. Remove the barriers and destroy it. I do wonder if the Vex security here is so lacking, because they never imagined you could reach this place.
No.
Because they can't simulate them. Fascinating.
It's too easy. There's a reason.
Oppressive mind. Show it the fate of its predecessors.
It's a trap.
The threads of night are further unraveled, and the weaver of this dark tapestry can no longer elude us. I have found a route to Quiria's hiding place. It is concealed behind numerous layers of defenses compiled by the Vex.
But now we have a target.
Something we can hit!
I would caution you against underestimating Quria.
Agreed. We must strike carefully, mitigate Quiria's ability to rally defenses. Then, punch through the network like a white-hot sword of praxic fire.
We can do this. Together. Together.
Osiris, there is something I must discuss with you. Lakshmi, she came to me with a proposal.
Of course she did.
Taking over as Titan Vanguard. She discussed it with me as well. Lakshmi has radical ideas, but they are only words. No cause for alarm.
Good, good. Only words, of course.
She wants what is best for the people of the city. And in truth, you would make an excellent leader.
I do not seek authority. Zavala may have a beautiful desk, but he is chained to it. We could use less bureaucracy, maybe. More proactive strategies, where we reclaim ground taken from humanity. An open council in the city to speak with the citizens. I have imagined a new vanguard, led by us.
Led by you, I would stay back and advise. I lack the temperament for leadership.
A fantasy
Wise to know that.
only. I told Lakshmi I would think about it so she would go away. The words, tasted like treason in my mouth.
Yep.
Let her believe you are considering it. If you refuse, I imagine she might approach Lord Saladin next. And after what happened with Kaito,
I understand. Later we will speak more of this.
Next time you see her, capture her and take her out.
it appears Lakshmi is speaking a bit too freely. I will report her behavior
For a while
to
now.
Ikora, though I imagine she already knows. You should continue working with Lakshmi. Don't mention what you've heard. We must keep this as quiet as we can. With the endless night and the Elixni here, the city has become a
Powder
powder
keg.
keg. One errant spark, and it could be the end of the Vanguard.
I feel Quiria's vile presence pulsing in the heart of their network. I feel a strong hand pull against the threads tied to everyone living in this city. This has gone on too long, Guardian. None can spend so long in the the dawn. There is comfort in that, yes. But I fear this endless night will grow even more terrible before we see the sun again.
That's a problem. Are you at the darkest point yet, or is it going to just keep getting darker?
The last time I
He's
spoke,
full of cheerfulness.
I was silenced.
He's been in a bad place lately.
Clearly, Ikora Ray fears the ugly truth. The Vanguard have betrayed you. You need not take my word for it. Simply look at their actions. The Vanguard have turned their backs on the light, and now openly wield the darkness. They force you to shelter a horde of fallen, led by a fugitive with ties to the Vex. And finally, they try to cover up Sabuthun's involvement in it all. Ikora Ray claimed that the fallen
Didn't
would
want to cause
stop
panic.
the endless night. But on the contrary, they have only made things worse. It's even possible that the Witch Queen walks among them. Unfortunately, the current Vanguard will stop at nothing to protect their place in their ivory tower. They don't understand the people of the last city, and their actions prove it. Future War Court and New Monarchy say, enough. We intend to return this city to its people. If the Vanguard
You say that,
won't
but-
protect you, then we will.
Ugh.
The light is fading, Guardian. We know the name of the sickness in the heart of the network. Quria strangles the light. It does not bend it as we splicers do, but twists it, shatters it, and pushes the shards through the skin of reality. It is forcing its terrors upon us. And if it succeeds, there will be nothing left. No Splicer could stand before a being of such power. But then, you Guardians are like no Splicers before you. Charge your gauntlet.
Charge your
Focus
gauntlet.
your mind. And walk further into the light than ever before. For us all.
Final boss battle.
For everything. Please.
You're our only hope.
When you first stole into this realm, I did not believe you could achieve what you have. Invading a domain of Vex consciousness like this. Yet, here you are. Embodiment of the impossible. Somehow, in spite of everything you've accomplished, I managed to underestimate you. I won't make that mistake again. It seems the Vex are content to keep throwing the same defenses at you. Get into the domain, Guardian. This is a Vex disintegration domain. Eradicating unneeded simulation data and abandoned terraforming projects. Beware those barriers. They will destroy all matter they touch. Venture deeper, Guardian. The Vex are on alert, but their defenses have not fully come online. Once more, the Vex fall into our snare. The domain's master is yours. Destroy it.
The end is here. The path to Quria opens. A night end is in sight. Destroy Quria, and the Witch Queen will be forced into retreat. The Vex lose guidance. This network becomes unmanaged. Ikora has taught how Guardians cornered the Undying Mind not long ago. With her wisdom and Elixni Splicers, we have plan devised. Drag Quria from hiding. May its last thought be of fear. Of you.
This is it, Guardian. Payback for the Dreaming City. For our city. For everyone.
Quria has shielded itself in multiple layers of the domain. It hides a festering rot deep within the core of this network. Savathun's eye is upon us now. I can feel
Watching
her.
eye of Savathun.
It is as if this moment was unavoidable. Fated. But you have shown me there is only the destiny we make for ourselves. Nothing more. Go, Guardian. Walk in the light.
Warrior has retreated within layers of security, mirroring domains you have previously collapsed.
The challenges you face here are the very ones you faced as you honed your Splicer powers. You are ready for this. Our hopes rest on you. Warrior rages against your presence. I can feel the sickening rot of the Taken's power shuddering through this domain. The Vex, too, struggle against the yoke of oppression laid on them by Warrior.
Our enemy hides behind others and uses them as pawns. Just in cowardice, no. Not much longer now, Guardian. We are all here. We believe in you.
Warrior is close. The Taken corruption in this Vex domain is deep. I can feel its infection through their systems. Fingers of darkness grasping, searching. Be careful, Guardian.
Warrior, blade transform, the dreaming mind.
This is it. Fight with everything you have.
Yeah.
Guide you.
Unbelievable. Warrior is gone.
A great evil.
Saint 14 should be a motivational speaker.
A
She's got
deed
the energy
of
for it.
legends.
I knew it. I knew we could do this. Congratulations, Guardian. This victory, it is monumental.
See?
Let's not uncork every
Feel like you should be a
bottle of
coach.
champagne in the
Yeah.
city just yet.
Osiris is right. This is a monumental victory for humanity and Elixni. But it's a battle, not the war.
Even so, victories should be cherished.
Yep. Celebration.
If Rex is correct, we will have a party, a celebration.
Yeah.
A small one, respectful, very classy. I will wear a suit.
And classy, I'll get a suit.
Finding Queria at the center of the endless night confirms our worst suspicions. It was the arm Savathun used to strangle our city. With it docked, to borrow an Elixni term, we purged Savathun from the Vex domain. I only hope we stopped her in time. The Dreaming Mind's defeat, as with so many things Vex, is a process. It will take time for Mithrax and his Splicers to finish untangling our reality from the Vex network. In the meantime, Osiris is focused on collecting all the data we have on Savathun, separating small truths from the many layers of lies. Everything she does is for a reason, even if it seems beyond our comprehension. I want to know what she hoped to gain. I thought I might ask Lakshmi for her assistance, but that device she uses. By Osiris's description, it's used to align one's consciousness with other temporal realities, and has driven many war cultists insane.
I think it's,
The visions it shows her.
She's
they
insane now.
cloud her judgment.
yeah.
Even now, she believes the Elixni will be the cause of some great catastrophe. Osiris seems to think he can get through to her. He understands the technology.
I think it's too late.
He understands her perspective, but I can only give him so much time.
Yeah.
Oh, Guardian. I wanted to be among the first to send my regards. Your victory today has lifted a great weight from my chest. I feel like I can breathe again. I hope you're not too proud to accept my praise. Even though we may not see eye to eye.
Definitely don't.
Pride is a dangerous affliction. It is clear Ikora suffers from it. And yes,
There it is.
I know. I do as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you see? I can admit when I am wrong,
Oh, that's right. You're so much better than Ikora, right?
which is more than I can say for some of our current leaders. The city deserves someone who acts. Someone who does what is right, even if it is unpopular. After all, you destroyed Queria against the wishes of countless Vex. You did what had to be done to protect your city. You acted bravely. I admire you for that. You and I,
Are the same.
we will speak more when this ugliness is behind us. After the Fallen
Yes,
have
you wanna speak
returned
to
to
you.
space, and this endless night is a memory. Our city could use more heroes.
Yeah, so stop trying to divide it.
Queria is no more. The threads of its influence lay limp across the weft of this reality. I thought its defeat would have driven the endless night from our skies. We must trust it will fade instead. Fitting, as the distrust between my people and yours will not vanish in a single act,
True.
but slowly, over time.
Takes time.
We, everything, can begin to heal.
It's about taking that first step.
You have united us in your light, Guardian. It was my honor to watch you grow into a sacred Splicer. Though this journey may be over, I hope we can still walk
friends.
together. We will have a beautiful sunrise.
You're cool on Bark Smith Rex.
People of the last city,
No.
we have endured many great tragedies thanks to our strength and a steadfast commitment to humanity. The Traveler chose us. It abandoned the Fallen because they are unfit, unworthy of the light. They would take it from us if they could. The Vanguard have lost their way. They embrace the darkness. Welcome Aramis's followers into our midst with open arms. Force us to celebrate our lost heroes alongside those who murdered them. Yes, the endless night is over. But now, Mithrax and his house will use this opportunity to do what the Fallen have always done. Covet, cheat, steal, kill. I have seen the future with my own eyes, and it has not changed. Doom still builds on our horizon like a terrible storm.
Yep.
But
Keep
there
playing off
is
people's
hope.
fear.
Right now, loyalists to the future war cult and new monarchy have rounded up the Fallen in our city. With the aid of Osiris, I have learned how to safely command the power of the Vex. I will use it to do what the Vanguard will not. I will tear open a rift, banish the Fallen to the depths of space from where they came. We alone will save humanity. I have seen the darkest of futures. And with this act, I will... No!
Did you just get murdered?
Lakshmi 2 has opened a Vex portal in the Elixni Quarter. All fire teams, find and close that incursion point.
Sure.
Mithrax, what's your status?
We are overrun.
She opened the Vex portal?
We cannot hold off much longer.
So,
Do not worry, Mithrax. I am on my way. No, you must
On purpose?
protect your people. You are my people.
maybe one of her vision soldier too.
Or was it by accident that she opened it up and that's why then she got...
Vex, inside the walls of the last city. How could this happen? How could Lakshmi do this?
Okay, nope, she did it on
We
purpose.
need this incursion ended. Now, before any more lives are lost.
Damn. If only there were signs.
Data consequences. The Vex attempt to lock out the terminal. Destroy countermeasures to keep it operating. The network attempts to re-encrypt, disrupt the passcode sequence, and continue the splice.
Osiris, what's your position? Osiris?
Earth's defenses have been reset, but like circuits, they can be overloaded. Continue the assault. He was right behind me. I have lost him.
Osiris, respond!
LXD have feared the Guardian ferocity for centuries. Turn your fury on the Vex. Not let the machine spawn divert your attention. Keep it fixed on the terminal. The vortex resists manifestation. A final surge of data will force it into being. I sense the Vex mind. It lashes out with something like desperation. They are coming for you.
They are coming.
Complete the final unlock sequence to manifest the vortex. The splice is complete. Enter quickly. Guardian, there are too many Vex. We need that portal closed.
Seems very overwhelming and like insane, hectic, hectic and frantic.
We must fight as if this is our last.
Very well with you.
Can anyone hear me? Mithrax? Saint? What's your status? Can anyone read me?
Mithrax fighting together.
Well, you're resetting the voiceover, right? No, I have. Mithrax said something to the effect of, "No, I have to help my people," and Saint 14 said, "You are my people."
Aw. Yeah! Don't help, Osiris. Just sit there and chill.
If we do not survive, this is the story LXD will tell of the Saint standing beside us.
Aw.
And you with me, Cal of Cows. Together, we are enough.
Oh.
More than enough.
Way to make an entrance!
Howdy. Yes, brother!
Osiris, you think you want to come down now and chip in?
Yeah. Oh!
She's so cool.
This pleases me. What is Osiris' deal? Was he the one that let in the Vex?
That's what I'm wondering right now.
Guardian, the city remains. We have wrestled another day from those who would take it, but not without loss. And not alone. Elixni, Mithrax, they stood with us, brothers and sisters in battle. This is a bond that cannot break. Their loss will be buried beside our own.
Your partner wasn't beside you.
Cora was wise to look to our future instead of the past. We must remember that it is the Elixni who came to us, laid down arms for a chance at peace. These are not the fiends Lakshmi made them out to be. That bravery demands respect and deserves recognition. The House of Light is part of the city now.
Yeah.
Under the protection of Saint 14. In time, the memories of our past demons will fade. And our peoples will share laughter and stories. Our victory today will be one of them. More famous than Twilight Gab, I will make sure of it.
More famous than Twilight?
Look at the city. The
Bathed in
skies are
light.
slowly clearing, but the streets are filled with dead Vex, dead Elixni, and our people. Future war cult has scattered to the wind, but we recovered Lakshmi's body from the site of the attack.
Oh, okay. So,
In the end, she was right about the tragedy looming on our horizon. If only she could have foreseen that it was of her own making. Now Dead Orbit has finally made good on its promise to leave the city and take a new monarchy with it. The factions are no more. Honestly, I will miss their presence here. After all, Lakshmi did not speak for the future war cult. Some of her own people warned me she was becoming unstable, and I feel I let her slip away.
nothing you could have done about it, Ikora.
I haven't told Saint yet, but I've been unable to locate Osiris. Even though Lakshmi implicated him in the attack, I don't believe he'd. Osiris is a good man. Saint and I will both vouch for him. All he has to do is return to the city to clear his name. I saw the blight that was forming in our own citizens, but I never thought it would lead us here. Eris once said, we will only know our enemy's next move if we are wise enough to recognize it. My eyes are wide open
She
now.
also said 6 went down.
Stay ready. People of the last city, I have some troubling news to share. As some of you know, a portal was opened in the Elixni quarter of the city, allowing Vex to breach our walls for the first time. Thankfully, Guardians, working together with Elixni Splicers, were able to repel the assault. We've since discovered that Lakshmi too, former leader of the future war cult, was responsible for the security breach. Regrettably, Lakshmi was killed by Vex during the assault. It seems that the other faction leaders were culpable, if not responsible. Executor Hideo and Arak Jalal have fled, taking the remainder of their factions with them. In their absence, we are now one people. Stronger, thanks to our alliance with the House Light.
House of Light is forever in your debt. You stood by us when we had no one. Now, we stand by the people of the last city. In the grace of the Traveler, come what may. The Light provides.
The Light provides.
This day is marked by glory and sadness. Today our kin, Elixni and human, went together into the House of Silence. There, they are united in the light. Our house believes that light flows through all. Through the great machine. And through you, Guardian. Though we will see the Silent never again, we will carry them with us, always. The light provides.
I think Saint 14 is might be my new favorite character after this. He's great.
He is great, but I mean, like, Ikora's entrance.
Yeah.
There's no beating that.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
I mean, dude, she was awesome. She just blew all the bad guys away.
Yeah, Saint 14, like, not only being a badass, but like, I don't know, bringing the heart too, and just the fun and the cheer and the happiness, celebrating the wins, and he wore a suit to the party. So, how could you not like the guy?
And to what you said, and it's something that we've said before on the channel, like, Ikora is right. That was a battle, not the war. And I completely respect, like, hey, we can't take our eye off the ball. Like, this is still going on. Totally valid. Saint 14's also right. Like, we all need to celebrate our wins, the small ones especially, because they're the easiest to overlook, but it's the small ones that keep us going along the way.
So Lakshmi, it happens so many times. Whenever there's like a prophecy or seeing the future, usually in trying to prevent it, you're the one, like, it's what those actions are what ends up causing it. And so it's just, it was sad that she was kind of losing her mind, and getting so radicalized, and just spreading that fear, and that, eventually costing her life. So do you think Osiris wasn't jumping in the fight because he was like, oh, I don't know if they'll believe that this wasn't me and back them up? But you feel like if he jumped into the fight, they would have believed him and like at least would have accepted his help.
I don't think that was it, because he was too calm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you had no part to play in this, if you truly never wanted this to happen, seeing it happen would be terrifying and horrific. And I don't think you would need to think about jumping in to help your friends. I think it would be a reaction. I gotta get in there. I gotta help him. And like, I don't think this was the case, but like, even if he was afraid at first to jump in or something, like, once Ikora shows up and blasts half of them away and the cavalry comes in, it's safe to jump in. Like, things are, the battle tide are turning, and like, it's not a gamble like it was when it was just Saint 14 and Mithrax against a whole bunch of them. It's like, no, now you have adequate help. And that wasn't what he did. He calmly watched, and then as our good guys were taking the win, he walked away. And that to me says he was involved.
Yeah, now the question is, was he involved because he thought it was a way to take out Lakshmi, who was kind of like creating all this unrest and division, and he said like she's going to need to be dealt with at some point. So was this his way of doing that without like really, raising questions about it? Or was he doing it so people would believe her premonition, thereby creating mistrust against the Elixni, the Fallen, and creating more division in the city? But it seemed like it just brought people together. Or was he doing that to bring, like, I don't know. So what do you think? What do you think the motivation is for that?
I don't know, but what did stick out in my brain when this was all going down was that sometimes when two groups of people are battling each other, all they really need is a bigger common enemy to stand united. And that is kind of what we saw happen here. So Osiris having the self-knowledge to recognize that he's not the leader, he's more of an advisor. Was this sort of what he would have advised, but that nobody would have taken the action to do? Because people died. I could see him having that frame of mind, that there was necessary sacrifices and losses for the greater good, but that the price that he was asking for was way more than Ikora or Zavala or anybody else would be willing to entertain.
Well, yeah, because it seems like Zavala is like the general in charge of like the army, and Osiris works as like CIA,
special ops.
Yeah, and does some shady shit, but he does it for what he thinks is the greater good. And so like, so I guess in his eyes willing to do what others are not willing to do. And so that's why he doesn't want to be the leader, so that he can operate in the shadows.
He definitely operates in the gray.
Yeah.
And the darker grays over the lighter grays. It feels
this was a darker gray, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All that being said, like, it was good to see some good come out of all of this. Like Saint 14 and Mithrax and like that team up, and like this is the story that our people are going to tell about Saint 14.
Such a great moment.
Like, that was just
such a great payoff.
Yes. That made me so happy.
Yeah.
And to see, because Saint 14 has that sort of like puppy dog personality, I really like the chemistry between him and Mithrax, because Mithrax is a very wise and measured and seasoned leader. And not that Mithrax doesn't have a sense of humor, but like we don't see it. Like I'm sure it's there. I don't think he's got like a stick up his butt, but it's just like, you know, him and his people have been through hell and back. So they're not in kind of like, hey, Chuckles kind of mood. But that's why him being with Saint 14 is so enjoyable, because like Saint 14 is gonna have a good time no matter what. Like they are on death's doorstep trying to protect the people, and he's just like, you know, you are my people, like hell yeah. Like he just has an enthusiasm about him that is infectious. Whatever Osiris may or may not have been up to, and what's her face, who sadly lost her mind to the point of Lakshmi, who unfortunately died, which is tragic in its own way. At least we got some good to wrap up this season. And in terms of seeing the future, to something that you had said earlier, the thing about playing with future visions is the complete lack of context. Like if you think about your life and just think about like, hey, if you could take a snapshot of your life and show it to 12-year-old you, what would that reaction be and what would they do differently? Like, you know, there's an impact there. Like I remember having like huge dreams about a future career when I was a 12-year-old. And if like myself at this age went back and told 12-year-old me like, you know what? You're actually not going to win that Academy Award that you've written like 16 speeches for, but you're going to be actually happier and it's going to be awesome. I don't know that 12-year-old me would be able to like process that or believe it. Like you just said, my dreams are over. Like playing with the future is context. And when you don't have context to understand it, you can't possibly make good decisions off of it.
Beautifully said. We're going to end it on that. And if you want to continue with our Destiny journey and get early ad-free access, then check out Patreon or our YouTube membership. There's a join button down below for YouTube, and there's a Patreon link in the description of this video.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Destiny 2 Season of the Splicer, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.